Call of Duty has given us some of the greatest zombies experiences of all time. But let's be real, it's always been treated like a side mode. And for years, fans have been asking the same question. Why don't we have a zombies only Call of Duty game? Imagine an entire Call of Duty built just around survival, Easter eggs, and that incredible co-op experience. No campaign, no multiplayer distractions, just pure zombies. How's it going, everyone? My name is Bearsy, and today I want to talk about why this should be the next Call of Duty game and what it could look like if Activision actually made it happen. Let's discuss. So to get this video started, I just want to talk about why fans want a zombies-only Call of Duty game as opposed to just the yearly releases or maybe just a standalone title released alongside with another Call of Duty game. So we have to look back on the golden era of Call of Duty. You know, a lot of people really do classify Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, and Black Ops 3 zombies as the golden era of Call of Duty zombies. You know, we didn't have stuff like we do have now. That being the armor system, rarities, loadout system. It was just pretty much bare bones, cut and dry. You start with a pistol, you get points, you try to survive till as high as you can go. But Black Ops 1 zombies, you know, it was kind of like a basic sort of game mode. They did innovate a lot more than something like World at War. Same thing with Black Ops 2. But Black Ops 3 zombies is where this really started to kick in for a lot of fans, that they really want a zombies only game because they just added a lot more to this game than the previous two. You know, we've gotten some amazing maps, we've gotten an amazing story, we've also gotten some pretty good Easter egg quests with the introduction of boss fights, and I'm personally an Easter egg guy myself. Honestly, like, I could be doing them all day if I really wanted to. They kind of remind me of Destiny 2 raids, but, you know, besides the point. But this is where, you know, a lot of people were starting to beg for a zombies only game, and if zombies, you know, really did get its own game, it would expand on the lore, gameplay elements, and everything else in between. I'm going to be talking about what a standalone Call of Duty Zombies game could actually look like later in the video. But let's look at the current title really quickly and compare it to something like World at War. Now, World at War was just a secret mode back then, so it really wasn't talked about. Fast forward to now, you know, players are like begging for a lot of changes that Black Ops 7 Zombies is not doing. Sure, we are getting a curse mode in the game, which is going to alleviate some of the stress that a lot of fans have been having, but let's take out all that chicken scratch, for example, and just talk about the talk. Fans, you know, have really built this franchise up from the ground. It would not be what it is today if it wasn't for all the communication, all the great maps that we had, you know, coming from World at War all the way to Black Ops 7. So this is why fans just really want a standalone zombies game where the Treyarch developer team could just go nuts. They can just bring in whatever they want and just have fun with it. But if the demand has been there for so long, why hasn't it happened yet? The biggest reason why I could say that this was a missed opportunity with current CODs is zombies often plays, you know, like second hand to multiplayer, campaign, and Warzone. You know, if we take a look at Black Ops 4, you know, zombies, it was just a messy launch to begin with. You had a bunch of crashes, you had a bunch of bugs, you know, a lot of people weren't satisfied with that game, and while they did bring a ton of content to the game, most round-based maps that we have ever seen within a Call of Duty Zombies game, like I said, just the bugs, crashes, and everything else in between is what really tore the Zombies game apart for being one of the best zombie games out there. We also had Vanguard Zombies. Now, personally for me, I'm not really a Vanguard Zombies player. In fact, I think I only touched it once, so I really can't elaborate on this topic too much. But I know one thing for sure is that it really didn't feel like zombies. You know, you had this weird sort of outbreak, round-based hybrid in the game where you could just go to different areas. Sure, they did fix it later with Shinonuma, where actually it was a proper round-based experience, and I think they had the Archon. I don't even entirely know. You know, I may do some research afterwards, but I really don't care about Vanguard Zombies. But another major point that we could actually talk about is how, you know, when they actually make these games with zombies in it, you know, they really do have to split the focus between all three modes or all four modes, however you guys want to classify it. You know, we have multiplayer, which does its own thing, which let's just take 33% or 25% if you count Warzone. So 25% of that has to be focused on multiplayer, 25% has to be focused on campaign, 25% on Warzone, and then 25% on zombies. Sure, like they promised this year, we're going to be getting a ton of launch content and post-launch content for Black Ops 7 Zombies. Zombies, but it could come with a lot of glitches, a lot of bugs, a lot of it may not be polished, a lot of it may not be what we're asking for, but this is exactly why a standalone Zombies game makes sense, because here's what it could look like if done right. So let's get the core features out of the way for you guys, and first things first, we need maps to play on. Now, 3 round-based maps would actually be perfect here. They could each have their own Easter eggs and their own main quest, side quest, little side Easter eggs, all that fun stuff, and a bunch of story integration. Like with the 3 maps that I would predict, first one being whatever happens at the end of Black Ops 7, that crew can get its own map and lore. Another one could be, bringing back the Chaos crew, because we've never seen them return. Sure, we see some story integrations with the Sentinel artifact, within Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Zombies, but I want to expand on that crew a lot more, because I feel like it was a big missed opportunity, and we just, didn't really have anything towards it. Third map could either be like a survival map, or it could be a brand new story that we could actually see within this standalone Zombies game. It could be, I don't know, just something wacky and something goofy, something so fun that we've never seen before. But another thing that I want to talk about is replayability, because what matters more than the launch? Post-launch support, of course. So this means we could get seasonal content. If Treyarch really wanted to go the extra mile on PC, they could actually add mod support, and they could also just have community-driven maps. Just think about, let's take a roadmap from Modern Warfare 3, for example, the biggest multiplayer that we've ever seen within Call of Duty history. Imagine that roadmap placed within a Call of Duty Zombies game. That would go absolutely insane. We could get brand new perks, brand new augments, brand new gameplay mechanics or game modes. They could really expand on this whole entire thing. Now I want to talk about game modes for this series. Honestly, when it comes to game modes, they're just as important as the maps, but this would be huge for post-launch support for a zombies-only game. We could see the return of Grief mode, but much more expanded, because the Treyarch developers are going to solely focus on zombies experience, and they don't have to rush on anything else. So we could see Grief mode return. We could see Turn mode actually come back, which would actually be a pretty huge thing, because a lot of us really want Turn to come back because it was such a fun and underrated game mode. We could see a ranked zombies. Now, personally, I would have no idea how this would work in zombies, so honestly, leave your comments down there in the section below how you want to see a ranked zombies game mode. And personally, for me, we could see like a boss gauntlet mode. We could see the gauntlet mode return. And we could also just have a diverse skill tree that's really solely based within Call of Duty Zombies. Think like the augment system within Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and Call of Duty Black Ops 7 Zombies, but much more expanded and just a lot more fun to actually play with within this experience. But there's one more thing I have to talk about, and it's going to come with every single Call of Duty game, even if a Call of Duty Zombies only game release. That's monetization. But I feel like the difference between this monetization and, let's say, Black Ops 7 monetization is, let's say a Call of Duty Zombies standalone game releases once and it doesn't release for another 5 years. When players buy bundles, when players buy battle passes, there's going to be a lot more meaning towards those bundles and battle passes, because it's not going to be another Call of Duty Zombies game for like 5 to 6 years. So whatever you buy is going to last you 5 to 6 years as opposed to 1 year. And I just feel like, Treyarch would make so much money through this, because like I said with all the points earlier, we have a dedicated fan base, and if we know that another Call of Duty Zombies game is not going to be releasing for another 4 to 5 years, we're more opt to buy bundles, because we know that that's going to be worth it. And like I said, with Battle Pass premiums and everything else in between, the Gobblegum packs, I just feel like Treyarch is putting a lot of money on the table with this, but they're just not making it. And if Activision ever actually pulled the trigger on this, the impact on Call of Duty as a whole could be huge. So one way this could really be a huge impact for Call of Duty fans is it could revive old Call of Duty fans who actually dropped off during Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombies. Fans who are still playing Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombies to this day, games even like Black Ops 4, Black Ops 2, or even Black Ops 1, this would receive a ton of attention online. I guarantee you, if this was posted to a YouTube page, on day one, let's say by tomorrow, this would receive, 2 million views in 24 hours, because that's how much people are begging for this. And a standalone Zombies could exist alongside Warzone like its own pillar. It could not be made by Treyarch. It could be made by someone else, like Raven Software, for example, or I don't know, Sledgehammer Games. Just throwing numbers out there, or throwing developers out there. But this could exist alongside Warzone, and it could be a multi-year thing, like I've talked about earlier, and the opportunity to grow zombies into a franchise within COD, this could really just be huge, because this could not be the only game that we get. We could get another one 5 to 6 years down the line, or we could receive one every couple of years, like how Warzone does their integrations. But with Warzone itself, you guys know how Warzone works. If you guys don't, Warzone integrates everything year after year with brand new maps, modes. You guys get the idea. But this would just really be huge for Call of Duty Zombies fans out there, and I just really want this to happen. But at the end of the day, it's still just a dream for fans, but it's a dream that makes a lot of sense for Treyarch to actually pull the trigger on. But really, this should be the next Call of Duty game, a zombies only COD. And honestly, I want to hear from you down there in the comment section below. Would you play this if Treyarch actually released this? What features would you want most? I want to see your comments down there below, because honestly, this could be an interesting topic to debate about if you guys want to see this, if you guys don't want to see this. So really let me know down there in the comment section below. I will be reading all of them. And honestly, if you guys are a Zombies fan, just really spread the word, because I really want this to become a reality. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and if you guys did enjoy, as always, smash that thumbs up button for more zombies content, to help out this mysterious algorithm that Einstein will never figure out to this day. Also, subscribe to the channel if you guys do want to see more zombies content, third game mode content right here on, Bear Z itself. We're going to be posting a ton of zombies, third game mode, and a little snippet of multiplayer just to keep the channel fresh. But honestly, share this video around as well. Like I said, get this word out, because I really want Treyarch to see this. And thank you guys so much for watching. This is Bear Z signing off. Stay healthy, stay clean. Bye.